You are now listening to the Platinum Achievement Podcast, bringing gamers together from around the world. A PixelPine.com production. Here are your hosts. Stay a while and listen.
Welcome. That's it. That's the intro.
That's it. You know what? I'm fine with welcome, but at least something. It's rude. It's rude. People, you know.
We're going early '90s AOL. Welcome.
You've got podcasts.
I love that. Oh my god, that should be the next intro.
Okay.
Well, no, it
Stop.
could be the current intro.
Stop.
As long as
Brian,
we don't...
stop. Everybody shut up. Brian, do it.
You've got podcasts. Welcome. I don't know. Now what do you want me to say? This is it. We're doing a show now. I'm not doing another intro. This is it. Okay? Welcome to the show. We actually have a special guest today, which is pretty awesome. Someone who has been on the show in the past. We've got Ruff Dog here. But we'll get to him in a second because we need to talk to him a little bit more than all the other boring people here like Chris.
Yes. Yes. I was kind of afraid you might introduce Roughdawg first before me, but you remembered I'm more important than everybody.
I just insulted you at the same time, but go ahead. What do you got going on? What are you playing? What are you doing? Who's in life? Who's not in life? All those things.
Who's in life? I don't know. Matt's still in life, so.
What did your last fortune cookie say? Well, give me all the details of life.
Last fortune cookie said, do not let Shaniqua distort your life.
Impressive. That is an extremely accurate cookie. I actually bought a giant box of fortune cookies the other day, and it makes me happy just to know I have it. And they're only $1, and I got like 50 fortune cookies. So.
Wait, 50 cookies for $1?
Yeah, it was something crazy. I went to some crazy
they
Japanese store.
They probably taste shit.
Oh, I hate fortune cookies anyway. I literally bought them because I like to open them up and then throw them away. I just want the fortune inside.
Okay.
That's how I live life, though.
Yeah.
So what are you playing, though?
I've been playing Overwatch and Dragon Age. Yeah.
Exciting.
Trying to get the platinum for Dragon Age. I did the two most annoying trophies, so I'm like, I don't have any missable trophies anymore, so yay. Very close on the platinum.
Yeah, we'll talk about Overwatch, I think, a little bit later in the show, too, because I started playing it as well, and I don't know. It's been pretty cool. Matt, what are you doing? What do you got going on?
Been a while since I opened a bottle on the show. Just work. I platinum Dark Souls 3, so now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to play next. Probably going to be Ratchet and Clank.
You guys were talking about that Dark Souls 3 platinum, and I couldn't even figure out what was going on, and just
it's crazy. It's real crazy. And the funny thing is, it's probably like walking into a conversation about Dota, where if you're the outsider, nothing makes sense. But to Chris and I, everything, we're like, yep, know exactly what you're talking about. That lady didn't give you a gesture. Yep, I know how that happens. Couldn't get that covenant item. Yeah, know what that's like. Were you wearing the hat that looked like a treasure chest with a tongue? Yeah, we know what that means.
But I just started playing, not just started playing, but I played Dark Souls 1 not too long ago. Yeah, those games are crazy intense. I died 300 times before I get to kill a single person, and just.
How did you? Okay, that seems a bit weird.
I can't imagine how difficult it is to platinum the game. That's all I'm saying.
It's just learning. That's really all it is. You just gotta learn it. But enough of us. Let's get to our guest.
Yeah, the important person now, Ruff Dog. What? How you doing?
Yes, Ruff Dog is important, Chris. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
Second most.
Nope.
Hey guys, nope. It's good to be back.
Yeah,
I missed you, Ruff Dog.
What episode was it that you were originally on? Because now has to be what, like 30 episodes since we
we did the E3. We got to I did the episode where the interview, but then I came back to do the E3 discussion, which was it was amazing. All the stuff
we've been doing this for a long time now. What the hell?
You'd think we know what we're doing, but no, we don't.
So what have you been up to? What games have you been playing? What do you got going on?
Yeah, there's a few games I've been playing right now. I've been Rocket League just came out with new DLC, so I've been playing with that. I've been doing the Uncharted collection, doing the Uncharted 3 right now, and I'm also been playing a lot of Warframe. I already have all the trophies on it. I don't know why I can't get away from that game. I love it.
That's a strange choice there too. I don't know. I feel like didn't that game come out like a couple of years ago or something?
It came out.
Yeah, but they always release trophies all the time though. So.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So how's the trophy hunting been going? Are you still
still second?
Still as dedicated as you've always been?
I feel like I've slacked off a little bit of lately. I mean, I'm at 1,051 right now, so I'm still second in the world. So I think I'm still exactly probably where I was last time in the scheme of things.
Second in the world, not too bad. I think I got like 5 trophies on PlayStation, so the better one's clearly me.
Quality, not quantity, right?
Yes, sir. But yeah.
Okay.
Awkward silence.
So
we're just let's have an awkward silence now. I don't even want to do just do 5 minutes now. Just no talking. I can't do it. All right.
This is like when somebody died and the pastor is like, please 5 minutes of silence.
This is like me when I walk home. I walk in the door. It's just an awkward silence. I'm like.
This is like me during sex. No.
Whoa, Spagnoli. Keep the cannoli in your pants, Spagnoli.
Yeah, silent sex, the best sex.
Rough
Dog.
How about
nothing has changed in the 30 episodes?
How about we let these guys get dark together and we'll just go talk about video games?
I mean, is that what you call it? I'm sure. What are we talking about today? What's the topic? Top 5 games of this year, I believe.
Yeah,
so far.
I just want to update. Last time Ruff Dog was here, how many trophies was it? 800 something platinums.
Sounded about right.
800.
Yeah, 800 something.
800 something. Now we are
1,051.
Yeah. So.
Damn. I've still got a spectacular
got White Knight
0.
Chronicles for Plat 1000. So
nice.
So 1,000 hours. Yeah.
What's that game? I never heard of it.
You've ever heard of White Knight Chronicles?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, one of the worst, longest games.
Yeah, it's oh man, that game's ridiculous. Like that was one. That was.
And
one
it was the servers are offline too, so it made it so I couldn't get help from anybody else, which made it a little harder.
Yeah, that game, man, that game's rough. Like, well, okay, having done that particular game, because I've heard nothing but horror stories. Do you feel like rewarded that you did it, or? Because I know not a lot of people have that platinum, right?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good when I got it, but afterwards, when I started reflecting on all the time I wasted on it too, I mean, I was like,
it's just too much.
Yeah, well, but it was on my trophy list back from, I don't know, like 2008, 2009. So, I mean, that's the only reason I did it, is just to see if I could finish it off. So.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But it didn't feel as good as I thought it was going to feel. I was just glad. There's just too much grinding in the game. That's the problem, is that majority of it, you're just grinding out stuff.
I've heard of the game before. I'm not even exactly sure. It's like an RPG or something, or.
Yeah, I mean, it's trying to think like what kind of game to place it in.
Well, it came out on the PS3 though, yeah.
Yeah, very early on. So it was like in the probably within like the first year, right, when trophies started getting released.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a good game, but the problem is that you have the stuff you have to grind out on it is just it's horrendous. I mean, to go up, I think it's like rank 12. I mean, that's probably like half of the 1,000 hours is probably that right there. I mean, it's just you got to create so many items. It's just the whole game is horrible. I probably should never play it. Looking back on it,
so then it doesn't sound like a good game.
Is that a literal?
It took me over a
1,000
year.
hours?
It took me like a year to do it. Yeah, I mean 1,000 hours. Yeah, I think it took me like I think I spent time on it off and on for like a year.
Oh man,
that
probably have the best completion
much.
time though. 6 years, 1 month. So nice completion time.
yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, 1,000 hours is how many days of game time?
Yeah, well, that's why I tried every day, like to at least put in an hour or two. I mean, you had to keep consistently playing at it, or I was never going to get it.
Mm-hmm. That is 41.6 days of constant play of one game.
That's
I think some people did. I think some people did finish it.
Jeez.
Yeah, and if you look at the leaderboard too, some of them have like it done in a month and a half, 2 months, and that must have been insane. Those people are crazy.
Yeah. But you're saying like insane. I have about maybe 4,000 hours on Dota 2. So.
Yeah, but that's a good. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean that's a good game that you enjoy.
I mean, right? and Dota 2 was officially released in 2012, and it was around well before that. So,
I feel like that's a type of game that you're supposed to play over and over and over and over. Where I like for White Knight Chronicles, I don't think of that as a game that I would ever commit more than like 40 hours to.
And that'd probably be the more appropriate time, like like 40, 50 hours.
But yeah, for me, I've talked about NHL and Madden, and I've probably played something like 1,000 hours on those games, especially for NHL, because a lot of times I just turn the game on and just kind of leave it on the menu screen. So if they showed me how many hours played I had in NHL, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the thousands of just this year.
But you play a lot online, right?
Yeah, I play I play on like leagues and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. I actually just played with Imran, who we didn't even mention before. Is sadly not with us today. He's MIA or doing something. I don't know what he's doing.
He's got that AI money. He's making some inanimate object smart. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, pretty much. But
and frankly, it could the inanimate object he makes smart could probably come on this show and basically host it better than we do. Good for him, Ron.
Hey, come on. I did a great intro today.
Actually, yeah, we could. I mean, I don't think he could program something to have quite the phone sex operator voice that you have, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you could program something to have the trophy count that Rough Dog has. But I mean, I know. Okay, so I'll just say it. I'm expendable. Because I know Chris will kill me if I say he is.
Don't worry, we love you.
Nothing nice about me. What the hell?
Yeah, Chris and Matt both expendable, completely understandable. In fact, it's just going to be me now. There's no one else on the show anymore, and it will just be me yelling at you for an hour.
No, you cannot take my ego.
And I'll
you cannot
only
have
talk
a
about
bigger ego than
hockey.
Me. You cannot.
Well, if you want to talk about hockey, I am all in. Let's do this.
No.
Rest in peace, Gordie Howe. He died a few weeks back. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Mr. Hockey.
It's pretty sad about it, but yeah, let's talk about video games a little bit too. So you want to talk about? We'll go through our top 5 games of 2016 so far. And Rough Dog, we were just talking about it too. It's kind of weird to just choose 2016 games because so many games come out at the end of 2015, and you're like, which ones count, or when did what come out and stuff like that. Because I thought Fallout 4 was a 2016 game too, but it came out in November, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was too, but it must have just been, I guess, when I bought it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to start looking in the list, and it was a good thing I did before the show, because we're both like, oh, nope, 2015.
Yeah,
okay.
I have no idea what my list is still, so... let's start with someone else then, so I could figure out my list by taking from yours. Chris, what's your top 5 games? What do you think so far? What do you think generally of 2016 so far?
So far, it's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay. There have been some fantastic games that have come out this year.
Yeah, I know. There are some really good games, but I'm just like the only game like my eyes are set on is Final Fantasy 15. And like I just like Final Fantasy 15. Oh, this is not Final Fantasy 15. I just bought a game. Oh, not Final Fantasy 15.
Well, you're already lying to yourself. You're already lying to yourself because anytime I've asked you what your most anticipated game of 2016 is, you're usually saying Persona 5.
No.
Yes.
Persona 5 is 2017 now.
Notice I haven't asked you in like 3 months.
So every time I buy a game, I got like disappointed. Not Final Fantasy 15 when it's coming out. Come on, I need to play this game.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions before I start my top 5. The Division.
Okay.
I feel like I have hyped myself again too much, like Destiny, and became very bland, repetitive, and boring.
Yeah.
Platinum did, but it's like.
But it's still a good game, though.
I'm not saying it's not a good game. I feel like the end game is just not strong enough to keep me, because someone who is used to playing World of Warcraft and has such a good end game gameplay for it, I don't know. Division can't do it for me. Just didn't do it for me. It's same like Destiny. The end game is not as good as the games
You're like
before.
saying it's a terrible game. This is the top 5 games of 2016.
Yeah,
I would have expected it to be on top of some people's lists. So
yeah, it's not mine. It's honorable mention. Also, Firewatch, honorable mention, because I don't know. It's like I didn't even finish it, because if it was so good, I wouldn't have stopped it. But it came to a point where like, why am I? There's a box, right? Every time you walk, you find a box. Somebody's like a story. Two couples, a couple story. I'm like, what is this? What is going on? There's reading and stuff like.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I'm a 14-year-old man and chasing teenage girls. I felt like kind of creepy. felt kind of creepy. Yeah, I'm like.
I think you just saw a mirror into who you actually are and couldn't deal with it.
No, I'm not a 40-year-old man.
So these are your honorable mentions so far? I don't even want to hear your list.
Yeah, honorable mention.
Yeah, what do you got?
Your list is losing credibility fast.
Sultan Sanctuary, also honorable mention, because I played it for a bit, but I didn't actually finish it, so I don't know. I don't have the right to put it in my top 5 without actually playing it. That's a lot. I put more time in it.
Okay.
And I also want to mention Street Fighter 5, honorable mention. It would have totally been in my top 5, but the netcode is so terrible. Like when I first got the game, I stopped playing ranked match because people were rage quitting, and when you rage quit, you don't get any points, and the guy who rage quitted doesn't get any penalties. So I was like, people are just rage quitting their rank points up, so they only like. They lose, so they rage quit, so they don't lose any points. So I was like, I waited for an update. The update came, and after the update, I couldn't go into any ranked match ever. Like, I literally waited 1 hour, no ranked match. The netcode is so terrible. I don't know if it's good in America, but it's so terrible in Middle East, and I cannot play a single game. So I just couldn't advance my skills because I couldn't play with anybody else. I just only playing with CPU.
Are you blaming your lack of skill on netcode?
I'm saying I cannot better myself because I cannot play with other people.
Sure.
That's how I got good in Mortal Kombat. I kept playing online, and I learned all of the the tricks, the moves, and I got better. I just cannot get better anymore on Street Fighter.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I still think you should play Gideon in Mortal Kombat. I'm going to say it.
Well, yeah, whatever happened with that?
Okay, so there's that.
So let's get into proper 5, sir.
Yeah, proper 5. Number 5, it's Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I love anime, and I love Naruto. And it's as good as the Storm games, and it's much better because the rosters is so big. You have all of the characters now, and you have actually the story ending was actually good, but I had one problem with it is they were kind of lazy with the story. They just added pictures, and to make it animated, they only shake the picture. I'm like, really? Intense moment. The picture is shaking. I'm like, seriously, guys, you're like putting pictures. Like, why not take bits from the anime and put it in the game? But they didn't do that. I don't understand why. Yeah, that's and also one broken character they had, which was the last boss. It's a broken character. Fuck that shit. Number 5. Number 4 is Pokken Tournament.
Yeah.
Pokken
Tournament. All right. I got you.
Because the battle system is so new and different, and you have 2 phases. If the 2 Pokemons get close to each other, you have the close combat, and if you're far away, you have the field combat. And you have to play, and your character plays differently. It has different moves for different stages, and it's really awesome because you always have to think how to counter your enemy. So if you do a basic attack, he can counter it, or if you do a super, he can counter it. If you do let's say an energy blast, he can counter it. So you have to know how to. It's like a rock paper scissors game. And you have to outsmart your opponent. I was really surprised how strategical it can get.
And would you say it was Pokken Tournament?
Yeah, it's on Wii U. And the netcode is it's not amazing, but it's decent for Wii U. Yeah.
That was a great game too in 2015.
2016.
Ooh.
Wasn't it released I thought it was released like a year ago.
Let's see.
No, it was talked about a year ago, I think.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Initial release date July 16th, 2015.
No. It was 2016.
Pokken Tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, Pokken Tournament came out this year, I thought.
Pokken Tournament
Did it come out in Japan?
Bandai Namco.
Did it come out in Japan in 2016?
Let's find out. We got to find the specifics here.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. It was released for Japanese arcades on July 16th, 2015.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
But it was released worldwide on the Wii U March 18th, 2016.
Okay, so it's a 2016 game. Doesn't count.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
right.
That's fine.
Yeah, my bad. I was
thinking.
I was like, man, I know
okay.
people have been talking about that for a little bit. So
Yeah.
We got it covered
because Japan still has an arcade scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say
lucky
Japanese arcades. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very popular.
Yeah. Arcades are awesome. I want to go to Japan now.
A friend of mine actually just went to go study abroad in Japan for a month, and I probably should have asked him about this. I didn't know that they had any arcade scene.
Yeah.
But
they have pachinko machines. Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, he did tell me about that.
Yeah, they love the
and told me that
machines.
everyone goes crazy about them.
That's a wall of noise. Okay, so you're up to 3, right? Or
yeah,
what do you got?
No. Number 3 is I'm conflicted, but I want to say Overwatch.
okay.
Yeah. That's fair. I think it's
so
fair.
good. It's so good. Overwatch.
What are you conflicted about, though?
Good. I'm conflicted because should I say Dark Souls 3? Number 3 or Overwatch number? But I love.
What's your list? You could do what you want.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We all believe in you. We won't judge you, except me.
Yeah. Number 2 is Overwatch. I love this game. The team based combat. The balance is kind of off on consoles. Trombone just got nerfed, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Because it's insane. Trombone is like. It has pinpoint accuracy and does very high damage, and it's insane. It's if you have a team of 4 trombones, you cannot even advance. Some maps is unbeatable if you have 4 trombones, like because it has pinpoint accuracy and the range is very far and does a lot of damage. They just nerfed it only for consoles. I'm like very happy with that.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, I would think, too, that they probably have, with a game like that where it's extremely, or it's just more competitive and things need to be fine-tuned more, I can understand them, like, tinkering with how the game's being played on consoles. Because I talked with a friend of mine, and he plays on PC, And I just told you, another buddy of mine, he plays on PS4, and I played Overwatch just a couple days ago with him. And we were talking about it, and apparently the types of characters, the types of players people use are different when you play on PC or whether you play on console. Like, I think it might have something to do with mouse and keyboard offering different advantages and stuff like that.
Of course, Mercy will be so much easier to play on a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so like the gameplay is a little bit
Mercy.
different.
Not Mercy. With Mercy.
Yeah, but just generally the idea of that. I don't know. I think it's a fair game though. I feel like so many people have gotten excited about Overwatch now. I'm actually kind of surprised that it isn't your number one, to be honest.
No.
So, what do you got? What are your other two games remaining here?
Number 2 is Dark Souls.
I think it's
3.
just one because I think
He said Dark Souls. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you already said Dark Souls. Yeah. Well, what do you got left?
Number 2. What you got left? Come on. It's obvious. It's obvious what's my number 1. But number 2, it's Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
I think it's the as a combat, it's the best Dark Souls game. And as an online experience, it's the best Dark Souls game. But as an overall bosses, it's kind of... I don't know. It's not very memorable as Dark Souls 1. But I love it the most because of the combat. How more fluid it is.
Have they kept the difficulty level high? Because I know the last few have always been very difficult. Have they kept that the same too?
Yes.
I don't know. Every time I play a Souls game, it gets easier and easier for me because I'm like used to all the traps and all the all the tricks they do from software, and I know all of them, and I don't just fall for the tricks anymore. Because if I see like a long corridor, I'm like, I know there's an enemy. It's gonna fall on my head and it's gonna kill me. So I get my shield up ready. I don't fall for the traps anymore. So the combat is awesome. The combat is the best thing about Dark Souls 3. There were some like memorable bosses, like the Nameless King. It's awesome fight.
Oh, Nameless King is so good. Oh
yeah.
man. Like honestly, like they yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leash myself here. So.
But yeah, Dark Souls is kind of a... I don't know. I kind of expected after Dark Souls 2, I was surprised when they were talking about the release of Dark Souls 3. I really was unsure about like how the game was going to keep progressing and if people were going to keep playing it too, but it has such an insane cult following now, and that cult following has expanded far, far beyond the original cult following. I think it's deserving of the number 2 spot on your list here, Chris.
Yep. And number 1, it's obvious, Uncharted 4.
Oh, okay. I was even thinking. I was trying to figure out what games are left right now.
What do you mean what games? It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Uncharted 4 is so good. The scenery, the story, the character. It's the only Uncharted game where I actually like cared for the backstory of the treasure hunting more than as much as the characters. Because usually when I played 1, 2, and 3, I cared more about the characters than the treasure they're hunting. But then 4, I was actually interested because even the main protagonist in it is dead. I mean, like the pirate. He was such an interesting character from the clues you find, and the chemistry between Drake and his brother was very authentic to me, and I really loved it. Yeah, like it's such a good ending. It's such a good wrap up, and I hope they don't bring it back. I hope they don't bring Nathan.
You hope they don't
back.
bring it back? No.
No.
I didn't.
Well, see now we finally agree on
ending.
something. I hope they don't bring it back. So nice.
Yeah. I feel like games need to learn how to end, kind of sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
I want it to end. It's such a good ending. Just don't sparkle it anymore. Don't put any ice cream on it. I like this ending.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point they're gonna be like, let's milk it more. Hopefully that never happens though. Yeah.
That's my top 5. I know that Matt is probably like, Uncharted? What the hell, man?
Yeah, I know, Matt, you don't like Uncharted very much.
Yeah, but I'm not going to hate on those that do.
I don't like Uncharted either. I mean,
thank you, Rough Dog. See, Rough Dog knows.
I hate Uncharted, so...
Wow, okay, look at that. Cause...
I mean, I know I'm playing it right now, but I think it's the most... I don't know, I feel like it's just the same thing. I feel like it's not creative. I mean, I don't know, I don't enjoy it.
So you're
because you
playing
don't
the
love
Uncharted
novel
collection right
stories.
Okay, number
I
one.
like stories, but I like good stories.
Thank you.
It's a good story.
No, it's not.
I don't think it's a very like it's not like a super original idea too.
No.
I mean, it's just Indiana Jones kind of.
Stop,
deluxe
Spagnoli.
edition.
It's Indiana Jones if he were an asshole. Indiana Jones is not an asshole.
And didn't have a good story.
Jeez, I like Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones doesn't need to kill 50,000 people per video game.
Yeah, he can just run away from one giant boulder and then shoot someone in the face, even though he wants to have a sword fight. Come on, man, that was cheating.
But did you laugh?
Yeah,
job done.
Come on, man.
You laugh in Uncharted 4 too. Come on.
I should have known when you put like when you put Firewatch and that stuff in your honorable mentions. I should have known you had something like Uncharted 4 at the top.
But yeah, it's pretty good.
I feel like it's. Come on, my number 5.
It's an alright list. I think it's okay.
It is a good list. You know, you guys should know I love anime. I love super.
Oh, I had no problem. I think it's no, that's good.
Yeah, no, your list is fine, Chris. Your list is totally fine.
That's why I love Scale Mount, and nobody loves it.
At least you're not sitting here going games. You're not talking about games that people think are objectively bad. Are like, they're like, no. At least it's not like you're not sitting here going, oh, Knack's the best game or something like that. You know, some game that was just objectively bad. You know, I mean, I think the one thing we've always sort of had on this show is we've always had an ability to back up our choices. It might not be something that, you know, lay people like us can sort of say, oh, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He likes Uncharted. I mean, I would never say that to anybody. But I think, you know, your list is fine. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of people love Uncharted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just, you know, I don't know. It just, for me and Matt, I guess it just doesn't agree with us.
I mean, a lot of people, a lot of people think Citizen Kane is the greatest movie of all time. I mean, while I think there is an argument to be made for it, I don't think it is. I think Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock is. So there.
Rosebud.
I watched Citizen Kane and it was so boring.
But Uncharted, it was a little different because I played the Uncharted collection too, and I'll say I didn't really love it that much either until I really played Uncharted 3. And I think it's really just trying to go back and play it now, having no experience with the game before and having no like nostalgia factor at all. It doesn't play necessarily well at all, the first one. I feel like the camera angles are wonky. It reminds me almost of playing like an N64 game with like the camera angles, and I'm like confused about just why the placement is where it is. And I won't discredit the story. I won't discredit like the character development. I think that those things are great about the game. But well, I guess I already discredited the story a little bit. It's a little generic. But
well, that's what I feel too. I feel like that they did a good job on the gameplay, but then it's like they tried to force a storyline in there, and it just I don't know. I mean, it was.
It seems.
It was okay.
I don't know. I feel like a game like that needs to exist. It's not like a unique idea that everyone loves. It's just a game that should exist, where it's like, sorry, I'm going to use the same analogy, Matt, an Indiana Jones just adventure game or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
No, of course Uncharted needs to exist. How else is Naughty Dog going to upload 100 DLC trophies unless the game exists? So.
There you go.
I don't feel like Uncharted goes for the uniqueness about it, but more for the refinement.
Yeah.
Because if you play in an Uncharted game, you see like graphics is amazing.
Yeah.
The scenery is amazing. The facial animation is amazing. They go for perfectionist for an idea that
no, that's a good.
exists.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it.
I mean, what Blizzard does for like styles of games, I think Naughty Dog has gone for like the technical aspect and said, "Hey, we can execute better than anybody," and I think they do. Like their ideas are not, they aren't treading any new water. They're not charting new territory, but the way that they're doing stuff that's already been done is unsurpassable at this point. And I think it would be wrong of any of us or probably the gaming community at large to say that that's false.
No, that's 100% accurate, and I think that's where you get the people, like, you know, where the divide is for us is that some people want that certain aspect where they want the perfection, and then other people want like a unique experience that they haven't had before. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Matt, what do you got? Let's go through your top 5. You have any honorable mentions like Chris or what?
My honorable mentions are games I've not played. Like I've not played Overwatch. I tried to start it the other day, but then it took forever to download the update, so I'm like, all right, I'll just let this update download, and I never actually got to play it. I've not played Salt and Sanctuary yet, but, you know, 2D Dark Souls, I'm going to play that game. Ratchet and Clank is something that I'm about to start playing. Those games are, that franchise particularly.
You're going to like it.
Yeah, I know. It's that franchise. It filled the void left by Calvin and Hobbes when they disappeared.
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, I guess that I got you.
And then let's see. I guess I could talk about what I'm anticipating, but I think that's probably just going to be well-worn territory at this point. Or maybe we should just talk at the end of this list about that.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
But number 5 for me is Tom Clancy's Division. I thought it was good. I had fun with it. The crew that I tended to run with, which was Moose Kluel, Matt Phillips, Dominic Roberge, who's J-Bay Dea on PSN. We all got into stupid situations, most of the time led by me, because I would just run, and they ended up calling me Leroy Jenkins because of it, which is fine, and then I just sort of leaned into that real hard. But yeah, that game, I had a lot of fun with that game, but I had to put it down because I saw it becoming a problem for me. Number 4 is Firewatch. Firewatch, I could see people making the argument that, oh, it's not really a game because you're just walking around. Well, fine, but the gaming is just like any other media. You know, we don't watch a movie because it's good, or we don't say a movie is good because it might have been good. We say it was good because our interaction with it was positive. And Firewatch was a game that came out at a time where I needed that story, and I think it's beautiful, and that might end up higher on my list than 4 by the time 2016.
I think it's going to be the indie game of the year. I think when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be what stands at the top.
Number 3 I think is number 3 for me. I think is the out and out indie game of the year, and that's The Witness. The Witness is. The Witness, if you try and explain The Witness to somebody, it sounds stupid. But when you actually play it and you see all the puzzle types build on each other, and then there's all the hidden stuff, and
oh yeah, we talked about this in the past too, and how intricate everything gets in between each other.
There is, I mean, it's in a weird way, it's like Dark Souls, where there's way more to that game than the trophy list. There's way more than that game than the critical path. There is enough there that, especially once you start finding the audio logs, you know, and it's very clearly Jonathan Blow saying, these are my opinions on things, and the puzzle mechanics are fun as hell. Number 2 is silly for me, but because it picked up right where Helldivers left off, Alienation by Housemarque. I've played that game for all of 10 minutes. And
and it's already on their list.
Oh man, the reason I stopped is because I wanted to get the Dark Souls 3 Platinum. I wanted to finish that before I fell down that rabbit hole. But yeah, Alienation is real good. It's real good. And the number 1 for me is Dark Souls 3. For all of the reasons that Chris mentioned, I don't think it's the best Souls game, but I think it does what Souls games do better than the Souls games have. And I know that's a contradiction, but the side quests are interesting. The NPCs you meet and deal with are interesting. I thought the Covenant system was executed better, with the exception of the Blade of the Dark Moon Covenant, because that's still kind of broken. The boss fights, I actually thought this set of boss fights was geared more towards, it was balanced in a way that it felt good to beat it solo. But if you summoned in, 1 or 2 people, or even if you had the dried fingers where you could summon in 3 people, that didn't make it easy. And I thought that the level of the challenge involved in all of it is very special, and that game is a very fun journey. And I think they finally found a way to make doing a pure caster build fun. It's a steeper difficulty curve, as it should be, but once you really commit to that path, it becomes very rewarding. So yeah, Dark Souls 3 is Dark Souls 3. There's a lot that'll probably there's a lot that has to happen to knock that off of the top of my list.
Yeah, and as I'm hearing your list and Chris's list, I'm just thinking right now that there actually have been a lot of good games so far. When you first mentioned the topic to me, I was like, how many good games have really come out in 2016? And I wasn't even sure I can make my my 5-game list, but just thinking about it now, we've had a pretty good year so far.
I thought I was gonna have trouble with my list as well, but after hearing a few of them, that was good actually. It's like...
Well, yeah. What do you got, Rough Dog?
So I guess I'll start off with my honorable mentions. My first one, I guess we'll hold off on games that haven't come out yet. South Park. But I'll leave that placeholder there. Dark Souls 3, I have not played that yet, but I've played the other ones. So if they're anywhere near as good, and obviously it's very high on both of you guys' lists, I'm assuming it'll be in my top 5 as soon as I put some time into it.
If you want co-op, let me know. I'll play.
Then I'll definitely be starting it soon.
Sweet!
The other one I have on the list is The Witness. I have that downloaded. I haven't played that yet. If it's anything, because I enjoy puzzle games, and I believe Jonathan Blow also did, what was it, Braid?
Yeah.
And the creativity on that game for the puzzle aspect, I thought was phenomenal. So if it's anything, if The Witness is anything for the challenging and uniqueness of the puzzles, then I think I'm definitely going to enjoy that, and it's going to show up on my list for the top 5. So, but to start off, I'm going to go with this indie game that just came out. And I'm going to go with GoTY as my number 5 list, number 5 of my list. And
tell us a little bit about it.
I don't know what this is.
Please so you know what it is? It's something like Flowers. I don't know if you ever played that. And it's either I feel like a hit or miss with certain people for an indie game. You're not playing it for the challenging gameplay. It's the scenery. It's the music. It's the surroundings. And I thought it was very well done. I mean, all the, the artistry that was done with it, I thought was amazing. It's a really simple game. It's not for everybody, but I thought I was I'll just do an nice indie game for number 5. Number 4
Does it
GoTY.
Does it have a platinum?
No, it does not. I don't even think it has. I don't even think. I think it only. I'm not 100%, but I actually think it only has bronze trophies. Like I don't even think it has silver or gold trophies. I think it's just bronze only.
What? You're Roughdawg. How can it be in your top
Hey,
5?
if anything's good, I'll play. I don't mind. But for my fourth that you had on your honorable mention list was Ratchet and Clank. I did a few hours of that, and I think it's a phenomenal game. I think you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
I think if you've played all the previous titles,
yep,
I think it's just like they culminated everything together, and it's great. There's a nice weapon system in it. There's the worlds are amazing. I mean, I think it's a very well done game, and it's definitely something that I don't think it would be on the top of anybody's list, but I feel like if anybody played it, I think it should make your list as a game that you definitely wouldn't have regretted playing. It's definitely great. So, for my number 3 list, and we've talked a few of these so far, is Firewatch. I think it's. I haven't played The Witness yet, but I think it's the best indie game that I've played in a long time. The story of it is just phenomenal. I mean, and everything that you get to hear from their backstory, but the environment is just. I mean, it's so well done. I mean. Yeah. I was shocked when I went into it. I just played it because my friend sent it to me, and it was like, hey, it's just a few hours, for the trophies, you can get it done. And I ended up spending so much time in it because it just was amazing, just walking around and seeing everything. And then the interaction between the main character and then the supervisor you meet in the other tower was just amazing, and I can't talk enough about that game. I could say.
Yeah. I've been like, as soon as Matt mentioned it, I've been wanting to just talk about it constantly because I think we even had an episode where I think I literally I talked about how I played it like 3 times over, just because I mean I'll talk about it more when I get to my list, but yeah, just the environment in the game is just so incredibly relaxing, but still kind of filled with mystery at the same time. Mm-hmm. The first time playing it too was just so much fun. I can't give it enough credit.
Yeah, and it feels weird because it's an indie game, but when you're playing it, it certainly doesn't feel like it. I mean, when you see the scenery and the detail, it feels like it's a very high quality.
It's extremely well written too. Yeah, I'll talk about it more when I get to my list. What else do you got on yours?
So for my second, I'm going off list and I'm doing Far Cry Primal for my number 2.
Really?
So,
all right.
Yes.
That should be on my honorable mentions. I still need to play that.
Yeah. I guess for me, and this comes down to me like not being like a huge shooting fan, even though my number 1 is going to disagree with that logic that I just made, is that I guess like the Stone Age, bows and weapons, and you were going to love Far Cry Primal. I think the game is amazing. I mean, just the detail, everything. Not sure if you guys played the previous Far Cries, but I feel like it's just going on the same way as that. I mean, everything is just well done on it. I mean,
did you guys ever play Turok? That was like my favorite game on N64.
Turok was so good.
That's a good game.
And I've always said I've wanted a game to come in and make another dinosaur game really, really fun like that too. And I haven't played Far Cry Primal at all. Maybe I should though. It really was. I think about Turok. It was like one of my first games, especially where I like got super invested in it too. I was actually interested in the somewhat of a story that existed in the game too. It was a lot of fun. But what else you got?
So for my number 1, I am going with Doom for my number 1 list.
God, that should be an honorable mention too. I haven't played that either.
Yeah.
Like 2016, you're killing everybody interesting, but games are coming out. What the hell?
Well, I don't think it's been out for that long. I want to say
it has
a month or two, right?
No, I've been into Dark Souls hole, so
yeah. Well,
I actually just played all of Doom in 2 days to like a week ago, so.
Yeah,
Matt, it's on sale for $36. You can buy it now.
I'll be right back.
Go get it.
How much did you say it was?
$36.
Oh, wait, it's
on PlayStation
sale?
Store.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely buy it.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know how to explain it. Like but to me, like as a shooter, and I am not a big fan of shooter games, I think it's flawless. Like I think just the fast pace that it goes, I think the campaign was well done. I don't think that, to me, like I feel like that's going to be hard for me to knock off of my top of the list. Like I said, and it's not even a genre that I particularly care about, and I think it was just well done all the way around. I mean, they've done away.
How does it compare with the older Doom?
You know, it's hard to explain, but it has that classic feel to it. Like it's like very modern, but it also feels kind of classic too. So, I mean, I feel like the combat is just, I mean, it's extremely addictive. I mean, you're fighting tons of demons. I mean,
just so gory too at the same time, and just so many awesome things can happen in one sequence.
Yeah, it's very fast paced. It's quick, but it's still well done. That's my number one. So,
how is it the multiplayer?
I don't think I've played multiplayer yet. So,
what do you mean? Did you platinum it?
No.
Yeah, I played the multiplayer in Doom for a second, and it was okay. It's not the reason I got the game, or not the reason I played the game, though, at all. I wasn't even thinking about the multiplayer at all. And I know some people might like it a lot, but when I played Doom, it was the same exact feeling for me when I actually played Wolfenstein. And I talked about that a lot on the show before, too, where it has that old arcadey almost feel of playing video games, but also like these just crazy aesthetics and things going on the screen. Just how fast paced everything is too. It's incredible.
And Wolfenstein is a good example, because that's another one where when you play a game like that, and that's how it is for me, Doom. Like I am playing it for the campaign, and multiplayer is like kind of something like, well, I guess I'll maybe get to it.
I don't think Wolfenstein has a multiplayer. Doesn't have them.
I don't think.
I was thinking of the PS3 one, like way back in the day, it had it. So that's right. The newer ones didn't. Like New Blood, right? Was it New Blood and Old Blood? Were those the PS4 ones? Yeah, they didn't have multiplayer.
It was New Order, Old Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a multiplayer. I don't feel like it needs though to have a multiplayer.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Like they had one. I was thinking of the one for the PS3, and it just felt like it was kind of forced on there. It wasn't really that good. So they did a smart thing of getting rid of it.
Yeah. Well, we got one person left. That's mine, and I've been trying to think of it, and I've only got 4 games on my list right now. Okay, and
still one from us.
No, he's probably leaving a placeholder, for the future, right?
I want to steal one from you guys right now, but it's literally just games that I haven't played. So the games on my list are the best games that I've played so far. But I'll give you my 3 honorable mentions right now, and 2 of them are games we've already mentioned here. Dark Souls 3, we've talked about that a bunch. I need to play more Dark Souls generally. I played the first one now. It's just
Did
chaos.
You get it on Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot help you then.
It's alright. I'm confident. I could do it. And the other game, The Witness, again, that's another game where it's a game that doesn't take the standard formula for making a great game, but it is a great game. I want to experience all those puzzles and stuff, and Jonathan Blow has made so many great games in the past too with Braid, and I think he's made some other games too. I don't know why I can't.
I was trying to think of something too. I was like, I know he did Braid, and I was trying to think of other stuff that he had done.
I'm almost certain that he's made something else too that became relatively popular. But The Witness, obviously, it's another game that I need to play. But one game that none of you guys mentioned, which I was surprised by, Quantum Break. No one cared for that game? Because I felt like it had there was some excitement there.
I don't have an Xbox, so I haven't played it.
I don't have one either.
You guys...
Yeah, I'm not buying an Xbox games anymore because it's coming out on PC.
So you're that guy on Twitter.
What do you mean? Like, I have a gaming PC. Why would I play on Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Wait, why? If I have I have a gaming PC with GTX 980. Why would I play on the Xbox? Better graphics.
Why not?
To play with your friends.
You cannot play Quantum Break with your friends.
Yes, you can.
To pretend to play with your friends.
No, you can. No, you can't, man. It's not fair.
But yeah, it's a game where I feel like I remember hearing about it in E3, and it's just another crazy game where you have all these different nuances with time slowing down and trying to figure out how to navigate the world with that. I think it's probably really cool to play. It's another game I need to get, but we're going to talk about it too. There's going to be tons more games coming out throughout the end of the year, and I'm sure by the end of the year our list will change a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But for right now, I've only played Overwatch for like 4 or 5 hours or something like that. But I'm already putting it on the list because it has almost a perfect arcadey multiplayer feel again. It reminds me of playing Halo 2, where it has that same atmosphere. It's not the same style of game, but I think the excitement around the multiplayer in the game is at that same level.
For Firewatch?
For Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
Did I say Firewatch? I didn't mean to say
No,
Firewatch.
I heard Firewatch.
Yeah. Firewatch is going to be on the list, though. Don't worry. We'll take a little while to get there because it's number 1 by a long shot. But yeah, Overwatch definitely going to be on. It's number 4 on my list since I only have 4 because I can't think of a 5th because I haven't played the other games.
That's okay.
Anyway.
I mean, it probably takes something special to say, you know what, I've only played 4 things that are top 5 worthy. So I appreciate your discerning eye.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, am I going to put Homefront and the Revolution in the top 5? I'm not. It was terrible. And just, it can't.
You could put Fallout 4 in quotation marks since we both thought that was 2016.
Yeah.
Wait, did you buy Homefront?
Yeah. I got it.
You paid $60 on
I didn't buy it.
Homefront.
I got it for free though from.
Played it because you got it cheap.
I was supposed to review it and I didn't because.
Exactly,
no,
me too.
I couldn't get through it.
Exactly, I got the
I couldn't.
code.
Literally, you can't.
Me too.
It's not done. It's not done by like 4 years. This is like alpha level gameplay or something. But whatever. I don't want to talk about shitty games.
Exactly. I also got the code and I downloaded it and I'm playing this. I'm talking to my editor. I'm like, please don't make me play this game. Please. I'm begging you. I'm just going to write shit, one word. 0 out of 10.
Okay, so just so you guys know, Jonathan Blow has only made 2 games.
Only Braid?
Oh, so just Braid and Witness?
Braid and the Witness. He's working on a game tentatively titled Game 3 that he has projected a 20-year development period broken into episodic individual playable games, each related thematically and deepening an investigation of subject matter for each chapter. A prototype has already been developed with 40-60 hours of gameplay. It is not a puzzle. It is not a puzzle game.
Really?
Thank you,
very,
Wikipedia.
Very strange. Huh. But
I hope that's even half accurate because I'm interested.
I feel like there's no way he's gonna have a 20-year development period. Whatever.
Duke Nukem Forever disagrees with you.
Yeah, great example.
The Last Guardian disagrees with you.
My next game on this list, Doom. Oh shit, my phone is ringing. No, go away.
Answer it.
Should have muted that.
Answer it. Who is it?
No. It is not a lady. We could pretend it is, though. Next game on this list, though, Doom. You just talked about it before, and it has that same. I compared it exactly to Wolfenstein. It has that same arcadey feel, but the chaos of every sequence that you go through is just there all the time. blowing people's heads up, things exploding everywhere.
Action packed.
Yeah, rocket launchers flying over everyone's head. It's an incredible game. And I've talked so many times about games that are just purely fun. It doesn't need to be super realistic or anything like that. And this is one of those games. You don't need to... If I was going to introduce someone to like the new generation consoles right now, or just video games right now that hasn't played video games in the past, or hasn't played in like 15, 20 years, you play Doom, and you go back and look, especially in those little the Easter egg missions or side rooms where you can go back and play the old Doom like levels. Just seeing the comparison between the old game and what it looks like now, it really is mind-blowing to just think about how far things have come.
So you're saying you would introduce this game to your grandma?
I would introduce it to my grandma, yeah. I want her to see all the gore and blood. Apparently, yeah.
Well, the overwhelming praise for Doom is almost anchored by the statement they found a way to make a new Doom by still making it Doom. Because the old mechanics in Doom are kind of... I mean, it's kind of like playing an XCOM game in this day and age. It's so anchored to what it was before, but still fun now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of staggering that they pulled it off, and I can't wait to play it.
And you want to know something strange? As I played Doom too, I was trying to think of when you compare it to the old Doom from 1990, whatever. It's weird to think, was this the game that they were going for back then? Was this like this? If they had the same processing power back then and ability to make a beautiful graphically beautiful game, is this what it really would have looked like? Is this, seeing again just how far people have come in game development and how crazy amazing things look now? It just adds to how impressive everything is generally. Yeah. My next game, and this is just a game that I don't think invokes a lot of excitement necessarily, but I think of it as an extremely good game that I don't have to be... it's a very, very consistent and reliable game, and that's The Division. It's a game that I can consistently go back to and not feel like I've missed out on too many things or anything like that. It's kind of a safe choice, I think so, but it's still a lot of fun to play. And I played through... We've talked about how it doesn't have the best story, but the gameplay is absolutely fantastic regardless. And when you find a group of people to play with too, that makes it just 10 times better.
True.
Last game. Talked about it a bunch. Firewatch.
How many times have you beat that game now?
It's 3 times.
Okay.
And they were all fantastic. I'm dying right now. Seriously, when the first time I played that game, I really, really had no idea exactly what to expect. I didn't really know anything about the story. I forget exactly what motivated me to buy the game even in the first place. But...
Brian? Hello?
Okay. My mic fell out or something there. Did you guys hear everything I said about Firewatch or no?
No.
I think you're just about ready to start on how great it is.
But yeah, so Firewatch, number 1 game, no question for me right now. The first time I played the game, it was such an insane experience to go through it. And for me, I had never played the game before. I never knew anything about the game. I never knew what to expect or what was going to happen at all. And that opening sequence, the opening like dialogue where they talk to the player and they explain to them, this is the backstory of who you are. This is why you're going to be here. And the choices you have to make there.
Yeah.
I don't care if the choices changed the game that drastically, but the fact that you are able to make those choices in the beginning help you identify with the character, I think, 10 times more than anything else. And I think that really sets the mood for the rest of the game, where you can relate to this guy in the woods for the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was just that opening sequence is a huge part, and especially talking with what was her name? Sheila? Was that it?
Delilah.
Yeah.
Delilah.
Was Delilah the fire's name?
Well, you're talking with a female.
Yeah,
I mean, it's for some reason it feels like it's been forever since that game came out, but
I know.
Yeah.
I was surprised actually when you mentioned it. And I Googled it right away. It's like, did that actually come out in 2016? And as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is number one on the list.
There's two trophy lists for that game too. So
there you go.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a Europe version and a US version. I mean, it's the same game, obviously, but there's 2 trophy lists that you can get for it. That's one of the games that I had no problem playing again because I was happy to do it a second time.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, well, you'll give me another reason to go back and play it again and go get all the trophies, just to give me another excuse to play it again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the voice acting is extremely good. The writing is extremely good, and just the environment again. It's so incredibly relaxing just to walk in the woods and feel that kind of isolation again. No question, number one game so far. Still some time left in the year, man. We're only halfway through.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what the story does, though. It kind of I feel like when it's explaining itself, it touches your imagination a little bit too, in some ways, and it feels like it's you. I mean, it's really hard to explain, but I agree. That's why I think I thought it was going to be like the best indie game that we're going to have this year.
Yeah. Well, I think. I mean.
I haven't played The Witness yet, so again.
Well, like and again, and Rough Dog, we could have that conversation after you've played it, but like I think best is sort of, it's always going to be a subjective thing because
of course,
you can go through The Witness without experiencing any story. It is 100% optional, whereas Firewatch is all story.
Yeah,
and it really depends on what sort of floats your boat, and there's the way that Limbo was talked about in terms of not really wasting any sort of frames on gameplay, like all of it is essential and worthwhile and fun despite how dark it is. I think Firewatch's story doesn't really waste a word.
Yeah.
And even with the branching paths at the beginning, it doesn't. There's very little wasted there, if there's anything.
Yeah, everything that happens builds the world more and just gets you more invested in the idea that it's only you and this one other girl. Yeah. Or supposedly,
even with the extra characters you interact with in the world, it's you, the female, and
they have those girls.
But it's you and the female, and then everywhere else, and there's a clear divide between you both and everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's a weirdly interesting us versus them dynamic, and
and you make like this crazy emotional bond with this other person.
Yeah, and then the only thing I'll spoil about it is the ending credits song. When that came on, I'd Rather Go Blind by Etta James, and it had been 20 years since I heard that song, and hearing that again, I was like, holy shit, I forgot how good this song is.
It was a great choice for the ending credits.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally Googling it right now.
Yeah.
No, it's just like the emotions that you're feeling at the end of the game. It was just it was a great song. Like, just to go right into it. I mean, it was. There's really, with every game, there's always something you feel, maybe they could have just did this a little bit better. I mean, I really cannot think of anything they could have done better in that game.
Yeah. Besides make another one. And they can make Firewatch 2 now.
But then, like you said with The Witness, like when you started talking about the story, I mean, I guess when you go into a game, you have to know what it is that you're playing it for. Mm-hmm. Just like this, we talked earlier that he made Braid. I mean, you certainly didn't play the game for its story. No. From what I remember, you either had little or none.
Yeah.
But you played for the puzzles. I mean, and the puzzles are what challenged you.
Yeah, I played because I wanted to fill up those damn pictures, man. Those pictures in Braid were so and then when you did, you're like, oh, I freaking did it, yeah. And then you get to the next one and it's like even more difficult. God damn you, Jonathan Blow, for being smarter than everybody else.
10 easy trophies and one really hard trophy.
Oh,
he really had an interesting story though, going into depth for The Witness and just all the things that he did to make that game what it is. And
mm-hmm.
And the way you guys talk about it, it seems like it was worth it.
Oh, totally.
Any of the sacrifices he made, then he's probably, especially if he's working on Game 3 and he's expecting a 20-year development period.
Well, I think he's basically. I mean, let's look at it this way. He's Marvel Cinematic Universing it. He's given himself 20 years to create a tapestry of playable games.
Gotcha.
So,
all right. Yeah.
Let him have it. I mean, if there are very few individuals that I think could do it or even should do it.
I mean, how many individual I think of developers do we really even know? Too. I think Jonathan Blow is probably up there as maybe one of the most famous. Definitely, I think probably Notch stole that title with Minecraft back.
I mean, if you want to talk, I was gonna say like Kojima is definitely there, but see, he also has a team of hundreds behind him.
Yeah. I'm thinking of literally just indie developers and stuff like that. But I guess Kojima's probably
the No Man's Sky names. What is his name?
Yeah,
Sean Murray.
We don't know his name.
Sean Murray's not the only guy, though. There's definitely more. He's just the focal point for that team.
Wait, you're telling me Jonathan Blow did the game by himself?
I think he did Braid by himself. I think he had a team with him on.
Yeah.
But limited.
But I'll give you credit though.
I mean, like you could say Tom Happ for Axiom Verge, which came out last year.
Good. Yeah. I feel like he's one of the known names like Hideo Kojima, Jonathan Blow, Todd Howard, Sean Murray, and the guy from Heavy Rain. What is it again?
David Cage.
David Cage, yeah,
Well, then you could also talk about Inafune,
Inafune, yeah.
Mikami, Koji Igarashi.
Kaz.
Who?
From Gran Turismo.
Oh, Kazunori. Okay.
Kazunori, yeah.
That crazy little man that gets up for Street Fighter at E3 all the time.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I just remember last time he was at E3, he had the Ryu gloves on. Because why not?
He always have that small. I forgot the character's name. I'm not even gonna mention
it. But yeah, like I mean. Yeah, there are very. I like the fact that we are in an industry that auteurs are starting to show up. And
yeah, like the creator for Grim Fandango. What's his name again?
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer, yes.
Yeah.
So because you're right. Because if you would ask me this question about, let's say, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, who are you like? Name me some developers. The only name I could have told you is Hideo Kojima, to be honest.
See, yeah. And like 5 years ago, or actually, when I first started when I came back to video games, I barely knew what a developer was. And then when I started really digging into this industry like 5 or 6 years ago, I realized, oh, wait a minute, there are individuals that have voices. But even now, I'm happy to see that there are more individuals showing up. I mean, even Amy Hennig, we could say, she has her own voice.
Yeah. So some of them even have their own podcast, like the Firewatch team.
Yeah,
I think they have their own.
Idle Thumbs. It's a great podcast too. I listen to it every time they put a new episode up. But what do you say we bridge this gap and talk about what's to come in 2016?
Pretty much, yeah. Let's do it. Do you want to do a top 5 list of our upcoming games?
Oh no. Well, let's just go. Let's do a round table. Rough Dog. We'll start with you.
South Park.
Okay.
Fractured But Whole. I think it's not. Hopefully, it will be released by the end of the year. So yeah. I mean so it's a possibility that might not be 2016.
Didn't they put a date on it?
I think it's December, but it's mid-December. So there's a possibility that could get delayed to 2017 easily. I mean, I think it's like, what is it, like December 15th, December 16th, or something like that. So there's a possibility, but if it's anywhere near the quality level of the first, and I assume it is because they're using the same system, that's going to be a contender for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they don't crutch on the turn-based system again. Hopefully they revamp it. And
that was something they could have did a little better. Like that was just, but other than that, I mean, the story, the characters. I mean, it felt like you were watching an hour-long show. Like it was awesome.
Oh man. Well, like how much they threw into that, how much just self-referential stuff they threw into that, and all of it sort of had its place. I was just like, yes.
Yeah.
Manmerberg.
I mean, the best part was when you went to Canada, and that's what it is you have to. I mean, the game. Sometimes they try to like tailor games where they're like, I know people probably don't watch the show that'll play the game, but man, they did not hold back. Like if you watch the show, then you rewarded.
Get every reference.
Yeah, I mean, and then going to Canada and going to the Nintendo graphics. I mean, it was so.
Well, what I liked is they started making fun of stuff midway through that game. Like they were making fun of Game of Thrones. Like, oh, you can get a dire wolf. Well, what's a dire wolf? It's just like a wolf, but it's dire.
And then
to be fair though, even if you, for me, like I haven't watched South Park for a long time. Maybe last season was maybe season 12 or 13.
Okay.
Even though I haven't seen the show for a long time, I feel like the game, even if you haven't seen any South Park, I feel like you can play the game and still enjoy it.
Oh, you can still enjoy it, but it's just all the little Easter eggs that are inside of it you just throw.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress this enough, but the only way the game is successful is if we still get healthy doses of Randy Marsh.
Oh, hell yes. Yes.
He was in the game. Like, he had great parts in the game, and that's the only way this is going to be just as good. As you got to have Randy Marsh. You got to have a good show for him. So
I hope they do I hope you can collect Jim Pokemon again. I thought that was so much fun. Okay, so let's go to phone sex operator voice himself, Spagnoli.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1, I know it. Is it?
You probably do already know it. Recore.
Damn it.
What were you going to say? I'm interested
Battlefield
now.
1.
Yeah, there you go. That's number 2. Don't worry. But yeah, Recore definitely up there. I'm still a little unsure. I want to see a lot more gameplay of it. But that first trailer really, really hooked me, and I'm still really excited about it now. But definitely, Chris, Battlefield 1, a World War I game that actually looks amazing and extremely well done, or just a World War I game. We've only had 2 that I can recall at all, and one of them was a 2D side-scroller. So,
well, we had Sky Kid on the NES. That was pretty good.
Oh, sure. I was like negative 12 years old or something. But watching those gameplay trailers, and especially just... I want to give them some credit for their marketing team for how well done and how awesome those trailers look. And you got the music in the background and just how intense everything seems to feel. I'm really excited to not only play the multiplayer and see what that looks like, but I really want to see what kind of story they have to really play through. I think it was there's some special battalion or something that saw the most amount of action. I think is what you play as in the story. I'm not totally sure yet though, but it's definitely up there. I'll give you 3 more since I can definitely do my top 5 list for games that are coming out.
Well, let's just keep going. We'll just do individual. We'll just keep going around the table.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I got you.
So, Chris, tell us about Final Fantasy 15.
Yes. Final Fantasy 15. Oh,
can I ask you a question? Can you tell us anything that we've not seen? Because it seems like there's so much of that game out already.
I feel like they are very confident enough about their content that they can release maybe a lot of it and still have something we haven't seen in the game.
Okay.
That's how I feel like they didn't show us everything. I feel like they showed us maybe half of it. Okay. Also, but I feel like maybe they're showing it a lot because it's been a 10-year production and people are like afraid. This game has been cancelled, delayed, rebuilt, remade, rebuilt, everything. And then people have their doubts about it, so they are going at full power, full throttle. Like, this game is awesome. We have all the confidence in the world. We're making an anime. We made a movie, guys. We made a fucking movie. Okay, they feel so. If a company like Square Enix feels very confident about their product, I feel like Final Fantasy 15 is gonna be really good.
Must buy.
What?
I was like, must buy.
Yeah, must buy. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait to have my collectors here. It's only 30,000 released, and it's an insane price, but I don't care. It's $280. Oh my god!
Oh, you got that?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, they sold out like what did they? That thing sold out like within hours.
No, it sold out after 15 minutes. I was.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. And they were taking like that, yeah.
Yeah, I was refreshing the website. Refresh. It actually was on the website 3 minutes earlier, and it didn't crash for me. I'm like, basket sent, credit card. $280. I cried a bit, but I don't care.
This is gonna hurt.
But all the stuff it came with though is amazing. I mean,
yeah.
Popped on eBay, and what were they selling for? Like $1,000 or something like that. Jeez.
The thing is, if Square Enix is not just a video game company, they also make figurines. And they also do animation for other companies. They even help animation companies like, what was it again? I think it was Madhouse, where they helped them with some of their animation. Square Enix. Bandai also does it too. For, let's say, Bandai sponsors Dragon Ball Super. You guys don't care. It's anime stuff. I know. But I was saying that Square Enix makes amazing figurines. Have you guys ever seen Hot Toys?
I think we actually have talked about this before. We've had this
discussion. And
this sounds very familiar. I thought it was like a dildo or something, and it wasn't.
What kind of hot toys you selling, Chris?
Yeah. So they're like basically the Hot Toys company in Japan. They make amazing anime figures. So the price I'm paying, I feel like it's worth it because the quality I get from figurines is going to be very good. And I love collecting figurines. I love it.
It's gonna be a great thing to show off, like if you have a game room and stuff like that.
I have a full closet, all my figurines in it. I have the Witcher 3. I have the Metal Gear Japanese edition with the big hand.
Wait, hang on. So when you have people who are like, "Hey, look at my closet full of video game toys,"
I know it sounds very childish. I know it sounds kind of like childish, but it's the same like crazy addiction you have for your vinyl collection.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So you cannot judge me because
I'm not judging you. I like how you said you have a closet. That's all.
We end up getting a new house, and one of the things that it was so big, I finally got my own game room, and I finally been able to get, like, now I'm finally building it up with, like, collections, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, I mean, that would be, I could just imagine something like that would be amazing to show off.
But just make sure if you're gonna start collecting, make sure what you're gonna order. For example, don't order anything Assassin's Creed. Don't order anything Call of Duty. Don't order anything that is major, like very popular game, because it isn't actually a collector's, because they're always in stock. If you go to Amazon and search for a Call of Duty collector, you still find it. Or Assassin's Creed, you still find
I wouldn't order anything Assassin's Creed. I think that's one of the worst series on the PS,
I'm just giving an example. But there are some really other companies like Bethesda. I feel like Dishonored 2, it's not going to be very good collectors, but Fallout is, and Skyrim is. You just have to know which one to pick.
Okay.
Yeah, Western Square Enix collectors, don't order any of them, because they're not actually like good collectors. You cannot resell them for a high price. It doesn't have.
Well, I don't think Rough Dog is the type that would order something to resell it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm saying if he wants to show off a really good collector, it has to be rare. It's some kind rarity.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think show off what you like.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah. As a collector's point of view.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Okay, so I guess we're around to me now. I mean, the obvious choice that hasn't been spoken is No Man's
Cuphead?
Is No Man's Sky. I think that's the obvious choice. As much as I'm excited for that game, I'm actually going to go Last Guardian. I am genuinely excited to play a game like that again, and I think that there are enough games influenced by the original team behind that game. And I think this will probably be the last thing we get from whatever semblance of that team is left. And I'm interested to play it. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's pretty rough. Oh, it's not good." Whatever. I've wanted that game since it was announced, and I'm gonna play it when I get it. And I'm also gonna enjoy the money that I'm owed.
Nah, it's coming out in 2017.
We both are gonna enjoy the money.
January 1st release date.
No, you're wrong, Spags. Yeah. But anyway, we don't need to get too deep into that. But so.
You want to keep going around? Because I got some more games.
Let's keep going. I just got a weird pop-up on my computer. Rough Dog, it's back to you.
Yeah, so an RPG that I am extremely looking forward to. I didn't want to say Final Fantasy because I knew you were going to say that. I'm going with Star Ocean Integrity. I cannot wait for that game to come out.
It's out already.
I think it just came out this week.
Okay, then it just came out this week then. So, then I didn't know that then. So
anticipated to play.
Yeah, then I'm definitely going to get that. So the first, Star Ocean 2 and 3 are just some of the best stories that I've seen on RPGs. So, and they certainly take their time to come out and play them. So I cannot wait. The trophies, obviously the trophies on the last one was hideous. But if you got past that, and you didn't care about the trophies, the story was great, and it was a great game. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing that.
Mm-hmm. Not bad. Didn't we mention that game last week on the show? I'm pretty sure.
I don't
Yes,
remember.
we did.
I don't remember.
We talked about Star Ocean having more than 120 endings, which is insane.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Oh, God.
Best platinum ever.
It's crazy.
Get all the endings.
I feel like there's so many games.
It wouldn't be a Star Ocean game unless it had something ridiculous in it. So,
hashtag JRPGs.
But I'm looking at the list right now of games coming out, especially in that sweet spot of October, November, December, and you're making me choose just one right now, and it's tough to do that. But I'll say Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 has got to be up there. I have such high expectations for this game. especially after playing the last one and being so excited about the last one. We've talked a lot about it, Chris, what our expectations are for what it's going to be like, and I just can't. The first one was so good, I can't imagine if it's going to live up to that first one's greatness. But I guess we'll find out.
Chris?
Yes?
Chris is dead.
What's next?
No.
Come on, one more.
What else are you interested in?
Mafia 3.
Mafia 3? Okay.
Yeah, Mafia 3.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I watched a lot of gameplay of it, even though graphically it looks kind of PS3, it's upscale PS3 game, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care because I love gangster story, I love it. It's like if it's as good, if the story is as good as Mafia 2 or Mafia 1, or has anything like Godfather feel to it, I'm in 100%. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Let's do one more game. Matt, what do you got? Give us one more game that you're excited about for.
Well, one more game that I'm excited about is actually already out. It is Inside. It's out on Xbox and PC, I believe. And,
yes, sir.
I don't know if it's coming to PS4 this year or not, but I know it eventually will. Limbo is one of my favorite games of all time, and the fact that we are finally getting Playdead's new game, I'm in.
Yeah, I look at the game too, and as soon as I saw it, it seems more like Limbo 2 than an original title almost to me. But I guess I haven't played Limbo somehow, even though it's like free on everything all the time now. It did look really, really cool in that E3 trailer. So yeah,
cool.
No one mentioned Deus Ex.
What do we got?
What?
Deus Ex.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never played any of those games.
Yeah, me either.
I think
nobody played.
I think that from what I've heard about them, they're kind of interesting. But
I played Human Revolution. Like, it's all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like great, but it's not bad either. I mean, it's it's all right.
It's a Deus Ex.
It's gotten some high scores. I don't really agree with it. Like some of the scores I've seen, like I think some of them are. You go to like IGN or something like that, and it probably has like a nice score that's probably in the 90s or something like that. But I don't agree with it. But I mean, it's still it's a good game.
Okay.
Can I mention more games or what?
Sure, go right ahead.
Kingdom Hearts.
No, it's not 2017. That's not 2017 either.
Most anticipated game for 2018. Maybe.
2018.
Most anticipated game for 2024, Death Stranding. And then most
2024. Yeah, you're being real hopeful.
If that game ever comes out.
Yeah. Mine's gonna be Gran Turismo Sports. I know, simulation game. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's like the people who have problem with simulation games is like, it's so boring. You just click the engine, like it just turns, it's boring, it's slow. Yeah, I know, because you're playing with the controller. That is why it's boring. If any of you guys play a sim game with a really good steering, not those shitty $50 one, force feedback, like Logitech one, if you play it with that is how these games should be played. With the controller, forget about it. It's not even worth it. You need a really good steering because you actually feel like you're actually driving a car. That's how it really feels like. Each car feels different because they spend a lot of time working with Logitech, making each car drive differently with these wheels. That's how it should be played. Yeah. Everybody keeps saying simulation games are boring. Trust me, play with the driving wheel.
Well, simulation games are boring to those that don't understand what simulation games are. I mean, I remember when I still had a PC that could play games on it. I used to play flight simulator games. Now, trying to start up a plane in the truest sense of starting up a plane, it's not, hey, I'm going to put my key in and we're just going to do that. No, it doesn't work that way. There's a lot that goes in.
It doesn't?
No, it really doesn't.
Automatic.
I learned how to fly before I learned how to drive. Yeah.
Is this a real thing or no?
Yeah, no, real. Like that's. I went to an Air Force academy when I was growing up, so yeah. But it's right. Actually, I mean, like the startup is like but you have to. I mean, it goes back to our debate earlier about you should know what you're getting into in a game. And it is.
Yeah, you know what kind of aircraft what kind of vehicle you're getting into.
I mean, if you want a simulation game, you don't just hit the gas pedal and pull back the wheel. Like it doesn't work like that.
I mean, I tried Gran Turismo back when it first came out, and I'm like, this is really good, but like, I don't want to think about driving when I'm playing a game, so I know that that's not for me. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not going to say it's not fun, because for people who are into that, oh man, it's probably fun.
It is. You can say it's not fun for you, but I don't like when people say the game is bad.
Because that's a completely incorrect statement.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I cannot agree with somebody saying Gran Turismo games are bad because they aren't. It's one of the best simulation games out there.
Yeah.
It's the best selling first party game on PlayStation 3. Like it's even sold better than Uncharted. How can you even argue with that?
Well, and that's what people do though. Is that I think they say bad and they should just say not for me. Because that's just like what we had with Uncharted 4 earlier. It's definitely not a bad game. It would be a horrible comment for me to say something like that because it's not. It's just not for me.
Well, and then you also talk about those people like I work in an environment where not a lot of people play games, and then I say that I play video games. Like, oh, so you're just playing Call of Duty, huh? I'm like, I'm like, no, I don't play that at all. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, what else is there? And I'm like, okay, we're not going to have this conversation because clearly you're going to think you're just going to work towards thinking I'm either immature, which guilty, or stupid, which is wrong, and because I don't think I'm stupid, and despite what Chris will tell you, I also think that there is a certain intelligence to playing games, but
I agree.
Clearly that the people that are going to level that sort of criticism at you aren't interested in hearing about it.
Usually I get I'm in I don't have a job. I like when they see my trophy list, it's like I must live in my grandmother's basement, single, you know what I mean? It's just the same kind of thing. People have that misconceived notion as soon as they see something, they're like, oh, that kid must a loser, no life,
Yeah. Like I even have a friend of mine, someone that is extremely active on our Facebook group, Dominic Drolet. He has played 4,000 games in NHL 16. 4,000. And if you think about it, each game is like 25 minutes long. That's a lot of gameplay.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of gameplay. But he does tons of cool stuff outside. He works with VR stuff. He talks with people. He's like a super genius with computers. He's made his own routers a bunch of times, and he tries to tell me about it, and I have no idea what he's really talking about. But yeah,
what's he doing in our group?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I just don't know. He's
his
awesome.
job seems similar to my job. What the hell?
Well, that's what it is, though. Is that for me personally, I just like playing a lot of different types of games, and that's what I enjoy. And it's funny because when people say the certain amount of hours, I think when you start looking at other people, like they do the same thing, but like that though, like you said, maybe it's not something that people could visually see, but it's like, hey, you put in so much in NHL, just like I know people that do that with Call of Duty, it's like a bunch of those games, like Madden, people put a bunch of hours into Madden, same thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like recently I've been falling down that path too because I started introducing, I brought a community member, Moose Cool, into Bloodborne, and I got him super deep into it. And because he's super deep into it, I'm like, finally, I have someone to play with that is going as crazy for this crap that I am. And and
finally someone you have to play with.
Well, you never invite.
I really wish I had someone to play Overwatch with too.
I know, right, dude? You know what? I just installed the update, Brian. You want to play Rough Dog? You want to play Overwatch?
I feel like I don't think.
Okay.
I bought it on Xbox.
I feel like I'm not even here.
Now all I hear is angry noise. Is someone angry? Who's angry?
Like grunting. Yeah.
You know what? He didn't like Firewatch either, so I don't think he really matters.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I'd rather be blind than play. No, I'm kidding.
All he got out of Firewatch was the two girls, in the pool that shouldn't have been, or in the lake. That's all he got out of the game.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Like an old man.
He's not an old man. He's like mid to late 30s.
Whatever.
He's calling you an old man.
I am an old. Well, no.
Hey, and maybe you might have been awkwardly staring at them, but I told them to get out of the lake. So
me too.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell you doing, bitches?
Just because you were sitting there staring at them doesn't mean we're all creepy.
There wasn't an option where can I join with you guys? Come on.
So wait, you're complaining that the game is creepy, yet you wanted an option, can I join you?
Well, when we talked about Fallout, the one thing that Chris was super into was having the three-way with the two female characters. Is that what that was?
Wait, what? Okay.
And now he's silent because he doesn't want to admit it.
He might have just...
Okay, so we've been going for a while now.
It was like an hour and a half. But...
I hate having to end it, but let's end it, shall we?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
For anyone that isn't doing it already, I say it every week, all the time. Make sure you go subscribe, like us everywhere, and do all that fun stuff. We got a Facebook group called Platinum Achievement Podcast. You can join that. We'll talk about stuff with you. And if you want to play video games with us, my gamer tag, ZombieXSP. It's the same thing on everything. If you want to follow me anywhere, you can go do that. Matt, what's yours?
I am Infinite_Rewind on PS4 and Wii U. I'm working on. I have to get a new Xbox gamer tag when I actually get a new Xbox.
Maybe one day.
Well, that $2.99 one that was at E3 kind of has me interested. So I'll have that when I'm ready. I'm also Infinite_Rewind on Twitter and Instagram, and I think. No, I'm not. I'm not that on Tumblr, but I don't write enough. So, yeah, play with us. I think all of us are about to start Overwatch finally to some degree. So, yeah, play with us. I'll definitely be in. According to Chris, I'm terrible at shooters. I will probably be bad at Overwatch.
It's all right. We'll play Imran and then we'll be fine. We'll split you and Imran up onto two different teams.
But don't ever talk crap to Imran about FIFA. I did that and I'm still hurting. He beat the pants off me.
I want to play him in FIFA now too.
So Chris is. I don't know if he's around.
Chris, are you alive? He might have died.
Okay, he's Frankenstein on PS4, which is FRE, N as in Nancy, K as in Kilimanjaro, E, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, E, I, N as in Nancy. He's Teporian on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know what he is on...
I think he's Teporian pretty much everywhere besides...
And then he is Ragnarok on Xbox. And the guest for last, the man himself, Ruff Dog.
Yeah,
pour yourself to our fans.
Hey, you can message me. I unblocked all my messages so people can actually contact me now. You can contact me on Twitter too. Same thing, Roughdawg4. And as always, it is a pleasure being a part of this podcast again.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun to have you again.
You're always a pleasure, and hopefully we can play Dark Souls 3.
Oh, there's a high chance of that happening. So the first two were awesome. So I'll definitely be getting Dark Souls 3.
I'm starting to get withdrawals. So shall I, fellas, let me get up and do my thing?
It's your job, man. You do it.
This has been the Platinum Achievement Podcast, Banana and out.
Here's the funny bit. Welcome to the funny bit at the end, everyone.
I have gonorrhea again.
Well, I've been held captive for the last year. So will I be released after this podcast?
Yes, I was whipping Rough Dog all day, every time.
Michael Vick style.
Relevant. It went to that level.